always be feeling good.
Of course. Okay, first of all, thank you so much for coming all the way from Amritsar.
Thank you so much for having me here.
We are delighted. And all of us know Amritsar is really famous for the food. Can you tell us three things that people here might not know about that are like really good?
Okay, so since you mentioned food, so let's start with the first one being food. So yes, of course we are the food capital, but for most people outside Amritsar, the notion is that we are just about food. People look at us and they believe that our life literally revolves around our kulchas, lassis, and our butter tikkas.
Doesn't it?
There's more to Amritsar, no? So very proud of the fact that we do provide, some of the yummiest dishes to the world. Our kulcha got featured in the top 10 best street foods of the world. So super proud of that fact. But then, people focus more on the fact that we're obsessed with eating and less on the fact that we are a city where not a single person goes to bed hungry. We have endless langars. We have the world's largest community kitchen at the Golden Temple. So yes, we love food, but more than that, I'd say we love feeding everyone around us.
Love.
So that's how I say it. And you said three things about Amritsar, right? So second one I'd like to talk about would be we are not just Amritsar or Ambersar, we are A-Town too. So we love glitz, glamour and fashion. And we love late night partying till 5 a.m. That's an Amritsari thing. And right now, Amritsar is going through a very magnificent phase because there are a lot of women entrepreneurs coming out, very successful, and they are making their mark on the global map. So witnessing that is such a delight. Celebrating them just makes my heart so happy. And one more thing, we do have a lot of love and warmth in our hearts, but then we also have no nonsense with me look on our faces all the time. So no messing with the Amritsaris. So that's something very apt for us.
Should I consider this as like a warning sign?
No, our hearts are carrying a lot of love, but we just set boundaries, We don't.
That is very
That is
yes.
wonderful. So that's just like a higher thing for us. No messing with Amritsaris. But the love in our hearts is definitely endless. I can promise you that.
Lovely. So you were having this conversation about AI. So mentioned how ChatGPT and how news headlines using AI so much that at this point it's really unreliable. I'm a psychologist and I recently found out there are apps where you can talk to an AI therapist. Other day, my younger sister, she's like, what, I'm feeling really low. How about I talk to the AI? She's actually talking to the AI. The AI is actually helping her out, learn these recovery techniques and all of that. What do you have to say about that? Like the AI, do you think AI is some way replacing the proximity, the human proximity?
You've touched a very hot burning topic. We have so much content related to it right now. Hollywood, Bollywood, on Netflix, wherein we are seeing, protagonists having this thing, very young teens too, that they're choosing to have AI friends than real ones. In this world right now, people are choosing to fall in love with robots than real people. And I think the main reason for this very worrisome and very disturbing situation, the main reason is there's a lot of heartbreak and heartache in the world. The world's become like that, and people are choosing like an easier way. It's escapism, but I just totally disagree with it because ultimately this is taking us to a path of emotional instability. It's better to have a broken heart. We can heal it, we can fix it, and we can move on. But emotional instability would just not be fine. And I think as a society, we are at a point where we need to really get together and put a full stop to this. Because then we are definitely reaching a space wherein we are going to become slaves of the technology that we mastered. And that's very worrisome and extremely disturbing to the heart. So it needs to be checked.
Important to understand that AI or technology is an add-on, not the main thing.
Exactly. It's very unclear and rather, we can live with the pain, the ache of the real world than try to find happiness in an unreal one.
Amazing. Okay, so have you ever considered reading your book from a third perspective, maybe from a reader's perspective? And if you did, what's the one thing that you love the most about Alia from Does Love Ever End and from Simran from Hyderabad?
Another simple here now. Yeah. So I actually have done that. I have really found beautiful corners, in this world, like, sitting under the marmalade sun and a nice sunset, mountains, and reading Das Love Ever End, and Hyderabad too. So when I look at Alia from a reader's perspective, Alia is a girl who breathes of this very empowering and unshakable faith in life. She believes that the universe is functioning for her, it's listening to her, it is fixing things for her. So there are times in her life when there are tempestuous winds, terrible situations, tumultuous storms. And she handles it all so calmly, with so much grace and wisdom. So there are times when I have to pick up Does Love Ever End, read everything I wrote about Alia, her wins, her struggles, her rainbows, her sunshine, everything about her, give her a hug, take all that energy and then pick myself up. There have been so many moments like that, and where Alia heals me, a character I wrote with every beat of my heart, that character healing me. There have been endless moments like that. And as for Simran, she is my reminder to be fierce, fabulous, unapologetic, and unstoppable. She is this very powerful girl. If anybody tries to mess with her emotions, she shuts that negativity out. While Alia is powerful but a very soft person, and Simran is fierce. That's where the two girls are different. And at times I need a hug from Alia, at times I need a hug from Simran. Both very comforting and powerful in their own ways. Like the taste of a very familiar hazelnut cappuccino that you enjoy with a cold bite in winter morning.
That is lovely, your own characters parenting you in a way. So, being an author is a journey itself. Was there something that you realized while writing these books?
While writing these books, it's actually a time when I reflect a lot at my own life. I'm not saying that I'm writing my own life, but it's catharsis. Even if I'm inspired, by people around me and I'm writing their lives, that's the time when I observe my life very carefully too. And there are three very important lessons that I have learned very of late. So while writing, so I'd like to talk about those three lessons. So the first one would be, I used to be this very trusting person in life. I used to trust people very blindly. And then life gave it to me in the face. Life literally shook me to teach me. And now this version of Simran shuts negativity in no time. My characters earlier used to be very trusting too. And now I see a change while I write them too. They don't, do that anymore. So that is a change that I have vividly witnessed in my own work, from how my characters earlier were and how they breathe out now. And so this is one very big lesson I've learned, that if any person tries to interrupt my peace, happiness, or growth in any way, I just cut that person out of my life. And the other version of me used to be just about giving chances to people, one after another, and that's not how life works. And the second thing I've learned is that while writing, that making a wrong decision is not a mistake. Living with it is. I repeat, making a wrong decision is not a mistake. Living with it is. And the last one, it's something I wrote very recently, and it goes like this. If you aren't finding the courage to walk away from toxic, if you aren't finding the courage to walk away from toxic, think of the million girls who look up to you. For them, walk away, so that when they don't feel safe somewhere, they can walk away easily because you did too. Liberate them, please. For them, leave, please. To conclude this answer, I'd just like to say that we have to be our own knight in shining armor. We don't have to wait for someone else to do it for us. Life is a solitary journey. We cannot expect someone to save us and rescue us. We have to be our own knight in shining armor. That's the reality.
Lovely. I think for we all live our real versus real lives. Can you share one, probably a very humorous Instagram reality?
Instagram is a very fun place. We are posting, okay, has he liked my picture yet? Okay, has he seen my post yet? That's always happening on Instagram. So if I have to point one thing, I'd say that if after your breakup, you're checking that your ex has seen your story, till now, has he seen it yet? Then you're not over that person. And people do that a lot. And I think the main reason that they're still doing it is because the new cool of the 21st century is staying in touch with exes, which is not okay. You cannot be moving forward or reading the next chapter of your life if you're still reading the previous one. Because the past is the past and that's where it belongs. So to start a new chapter, to read a new chapter, to begin a new story, stop reading the previous one and stop checking if he's seen your story. It doesn't matter anymore. Thank you.
That was a really good lesson, but I think most of you here are married and must be thinking what are these kids talking about. Do we still do that? I think this was really insightful.
It happens at every age. If you're on Instagram, you know the rules.
Maybe in their age they used to ask their friends like what is their exes believe.
Yeah, because that's like if you're on Instagram, you're doing this.
Absolutely. That was really insightful, and I think I have learned to be kind from heart, yet to be assertive and maintain your boundaries. Thank you so much for this.
Thank you, ladies. This was one lively conversation capturing the contemporary essence on love and life. Thank you.
Thank you for taking care of the closing remarks because otherwise it would have felt very weird to say something about myself. Okay, so moving forward, we have our fifth duo of the night. On the hot seat, we have the sharp and seasoned Jyoti Kamarji. This News 18 India managing editor has his fingers firmly on the pulse of Punjab, Haryana and Himachal Pradesh, bringing over a decade of journalistic grit from top publications. Please have a big round of applause. And taking the cool seat with her signature effervescence, it's the delightful Arjun Mehek, this former Arjun Mirchi and current My FM host, an enthusiast of all things books, movies and shows, is ready to turn up the charm and the question. Let the fun begin.